BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm your thirsty guy for BodyBags, and this week, Anchor Bay week. And the movie I picked for this week, it may not be a horror movie, but it's definitely that kind of idea. And that movie is none other than South Korean film Snowpiercer. And so, I really like this movie. So, here's the premise of the movie. So, global warming is affecting the earth, and people are like, oh, we gotta go and, save the earth. So what do? They send a chemical up in the sky to basically cool the earth off. But then the problem ends up being is that the element that they basically put up to the sky basically causes the earth to go through an ice age. So the entire earth goes, through this ice age, and the only people that are still alive are, these people that got on this train that basically goes around the world, which I guess is kind of like Noah's Ark but different. And the way the train is that the front of the train is like the elite of the elite, right? And then the back of the train is the poor of the poor. And 17 years later is when the movie takes place, like 17 years after the Ice Age started. And you have your main characters, and you're following them, who are basically a bunch of poor people, and they're like, you know what, we're sick and tired of this. We're going to revolt, and we're going to go to the front of the train kind of thing. So the movie is these people trying to go and take the train kind of thing. And so I like this movie. This is a really nice movie. And every time, alright, so, man, there are scenes in this movie that every time I watch it, I get goosebumps. I don't know, just that kind of movie where, like, it's like, oh, kind of thing. So, alright, so there's these series of doors that open up, and it's kind of timed, right? So, like, when they start it, and just the way it starts, it's like, oh my god, a lot starts happening like that. When they start taking the train. So it's kind of like a two-part movie where the first part is basically them getting up to a point, and then it turns into like your Lord of the Rings kind of like movie where it's like 5 people not left, but 5 people go out and they go and try to get to the front of the train. But like the first half, I really love the first half, and the second half was pretty interesting, like story-wise. There was some action, but most of the action was in the beginning of the movie. But yeah, I mean, like, this was a really good movie. I think this was based off something. I'm not entirely sure what it was, like, primarily based off of. But I swear to God, every time I watch this movie, I swear it's in the same universe as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And if you watch, alright, so there's a video on YouTube. I don't remember what it is, but I'm gonna try to get the title, maybe even the link for it, and I'll put it down below. If not, then you could look it up. It's basically like how like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Snowpiercer are in the same universe. And they basically go on to say how like some of the characters in Snowpiercer are related to, or could be related to people. And then they just have like different theories and stuff like that throughout, from stuff that's said in Snowpiercer and whatever, and like how it would make sense. And I just thought it was interesting, and every time I watch this movie, like, I more and more think they're in the same universe after watching that video, and I was like, that's interesting. And I'm not gonna go in detail, but it's just like, it's very interesting. So I would say, if you have not seen Snowpiercer yet, make sure you watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original with, oh my god, what's that guy's name? I forget that guy's name. Go watch the original. Yeah, I forgot the actor's name. The guy that's like, he's like, or whatever in that one scene, and then it's a meme. But yeah, watch the original first, and then watch this, and if you don't understand, like, how would they be in the same universe, then, like, go and watch that video. But I thought that was really interesting, and then just seeing how the movie plays out and stuff like that, it's like, wow, this is really interesting. But yeah, I mean, my favorite part about this movie, other than the story, is the actors, the cast choice. I mean, you have Chris Evans playing your main character. You got Tilda Swinton in it. I think that's her name. You got I forget the actor's name, but he's the main dad in the South Korean film The Host. He's in it. Ed Helms is in it as the guy that's like the head of the train kind of thing. So you got characters and you have actors in there. It's kind of like a big budget movie that was made in another country, which I'm not gonna lie, if I was ever given that opportunity, I probably would take it on a heartbeat, regardless. Unless it was some stupid movie. If it was a stupid movie that I didn't really like want to do, then I probably wouldn't. But if it was something interesting, an idea like that or whatever, but it was like a big underrated cast, because this at the time it was like 2013 when this was made or something like that. The title, if anything, is gonna fact check me or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was 2013, but even if that was the case, I mean, like, you look at the cast and the biggest actor would have been, and maybe you could go and say Ed Helms would have been, because you would have remembered him in some other movies. I think he was in like Enemy of the Gate, but like he's that kind of actor. He's in not smaller stuff, but stuff not everyone would know. But like the biggest actor I would say in that movie at the time would have been like Chris Evans, because like that was like when he was Captain America kind of thing for the first time. That was like Avengers was like 2011, or actually Avengers was like around that area. So like he was like, oh, it's Chris Evans, it's Captain America, right? People are still like that, but people now are probably like, oh, look at that, it's that's her, that's him, that's him, that's her, that kind of thing. So, but I mean, point is, I really like this movie. It's a really nice movie. The story of it's really nice. The way they do everything in the movie is really nice. And then just thinking of how it's like in the same universe as Willy Wonka, because it's really interesting. You get like a very serious, kind of dark, whatever you want to call it, movie, like Snowpiercer, and go and say it's in the same universe as this kid-friendly, child-friendly, whatever movie. It's always interesting to me. It's kind of like if you're going to go and say like, there's that old movie Iron Giant, and now there's a sequel that's like Brightburn kind of thing, right? Or something stupid like that. Which actually, now just thinking, I think, well, they're basically the same movie, except one's good and one's bad. I'm talking about Iron Giant and Brightburn. But anyways, back to the main movie I'm trying to talk about right now. Music, there was nice music, but like the music was more like, it wasn't just normal music. It was more of like different musics for like the scene that's going on. So if it's like an action scene, it's like action music. If it's a drama scene, drama music, some kind of thing like that. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't like crazy. Like I would go and listen to it over and over again. Maybe if there's like a specific song that has like some notes I want to hear or whatever. Anyways, point is, really nice movie. Everything about it is nice. I love the casting. I love the acting was really good. It was like really good. Okay. Everything about it was good. The only thing that's like, right, at least to me, I mean, there's nothing really in this movie. Like, you're gonna have to dig to find some with this movie. And the only I guess I could find is if you just don't like this kind of movie. If you don't like this kind of movie, then sure, I get it. But if you like this kind of movie and you find an you gotta go tell me what that is, because I don't think this movie has any unless you just don't like this kind of movie. Or if you're like, oh, they shouldn't have killed that character, that's so stupid. But it's like, it's trying to keep the story going and make it more interesting. Right? It's like, oh, come on. Anyways, point is, really nice movie. And this movie, I'm going to rate it. Okay? It's gonna be an 8.9! Whatever. 8.9. I really like this movie. Music, maybe not like entertaining kind of thing. Like, you go and listen to like Goblin or whatever, but like it's still like pretty solid music, okay? I love everything. Everything about this movie is good, okay? Everything about this, not even good, it's great, okay? But, no movie can be truly perfect. And I think the only flaw with this movie would be if you just don't like it, or if you just don't like this kind of movie. Maybe if you're like, oh, it's dragging on too long, but I mean, it helps, there's action scenes that kind of like carry you through the movie. I mean, like, alright, I won't lie. Alright, so it's like a 2-hour movie, right? The first half, it's like 2 different parts that are actually split at the hour marker. And I guess the second half could be a little boring, but like, I mean, come on. Some movies are like that, especially if they're long. They're gonna have boring parts, but that's kind of how the movie goes, right? everything's not just about action. But anyways, point is, I really like this movie. This was a really nice movie. Okay, really nice, serious movie. Next week is gonna be a movie that I've never watched before. I saw the title and thought interesting. So, unless that movie is off of Tubi or something, this movie should be interesting to watch. Well, the movie I'm doing next week. Anyways, movie Snowpiercer, 8.9. Hey, I'll see you next week. You have a good one. Bye.